what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Creatives Conversation. I'm Amber. I'm the brand manager here at Helps Too, and today is my very first episode all by myself, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am, just in case you don't know. I work here at Helps Too on our social media and our brand and all those things, but in addition to that, I'm also a creative myself. I'm an artist. I do painting and illustration. In addition to that, I'm also a writer. And so I totally relate to all the creative struggles because I myself am a creative and have been through them. So today, when I talk to you about creative things, it's personal to me. I totally get it. And yeah. So today I want to talk to you guys, I'm just going to jump right in, about how you can support the creative in your lives. So we usually address creatives directly in this podcast and, talk about creative struggles that creatives themselves deal with. But I just want to address people who are maybe not creatives, but are, involved in other creatives' lives. Like if you have a friend or a spouse or even a family member who writes or illustrates or makes music, I want to speak directly to you about how you can be supportive and helpful, because that can actually transform a creative's journey, is if they have even just one person that they know is consistently supporting them and there for them. Because I know for me, that's been major, just having people in my life who I know for sure, no matter what, they're supporting me in my journey. But I'm also addressing other creatives, because there's this mentality, I feel like, in the creative community where if you're a creative, you kind of have to disdain other creatives because of, this mentality of competition. Like, I can't support them, I can't buy their stuff because then it might take away from me. And I just want to kind of deconstruct that, because that's actually really harmful as a creative. You're missing out on a lot of opportunities for growth, for connections, and what is it called? Networking. That's the word I'm looking for. And for networking and for, even just making friendships in the creative community and learning from others. And so this is also for creatives who want to support other creatives and stop competing against them. And we actually recently made a video about creatives and and how we deal with competition. And so if you want to check that out, I'll go ahead and link that below for y'all. But anyways, so this is for everyone, not just creatives. And I just want to share a little bit about how, for me, having support from people who, buy my art, for people who give me verbal affirmation and all that, how that's really helped me to grow as a creative and just stay on track and keep at it. So the first thing that it's done for me is to help me to want to continue creating. There's days where as a creative, and if you're just in your own world and your own bubble and you don't have anyone, giving you feedback, it can feel like you're not impacting anyone, or it doesn't matter. What you do doesn't matter, and it can be easy to just quit. And so the value of supporting other creatives is keeping them just on track to keep doing what they do. Like your voice and your influence could actually keep someone in their craft. But also, it's the biggest thing that I've noticed for me, having people who encourage me and support me as a creative, is that it's forced me to do things that I would normally never attempt. So I've had requests from friends and other people who have commissioned art from me to do things that I thought were way too hard, or that I thought I wasn't capable of, or that I thought, that's not really my style, or whatever, the different things we say, especially as artists, in the visual arts world, we're like, that's not my style, I'm not going to make that, But when somebody, comes to me and they're like, hey, I'll pay you to paint me, a red grill, that was an example I had. I was like, well, I've never tried to paint a red grill before, but, I'll give it a shot. And it gave me an opportunity to do something that I would have never even attempted before, or even thought to attempt before. So it actually stretched my creativity. It stretched my skills, and it just, in general, stretched me as a creative to branch out and try something new. And it was a success, and I was paid for the work I made, and everyone was happy. And like I said, it's actually even like having people support me has even paid me some, a little extra income. Now, I'm not saying I full time make money off of my art, but Grace, one of my colleagues here at Helps Too, in the book that we recently put out, she talks about how, even if your art is just paying for a couple cups of coffee here and there, that's still something. That's still bringing you in something that you didn't have before. And so, I've been able to make a little extra change with my art and been able to go buy myself something nice. And so it's totally like encouraging when you have that little bit of extra revenue coming in as an artist, because it shows you like what I'm doing is actually worth not just people's like attention, but also their money. So it's really encouraging. So at this point, you may be asking, so how can I support? What are the specific things that I can do that will really make an impact and help the creatives in my life? And so the first one is the obvious one that I just said. Get out your checkbook, get out your wallet, and actually spend some money and buy something. So, if you support someone who creates music, go buy their album on iTunes, or, go stream their music a ton on Spotify, and that actually gets them a check from Spotify. If you listen like a lot and a lot of people keep streaming their music, they actually get paid for that. So, you're making a difference even without having to spend money per se, unless you're paying for Spotify Premium. But, you're not having to spend money, but you're still able to support that artist by listening to their music on repeat. Buy prints. If your friends are selling prints of their artwork, or they're making postcards, or they're making jewelry, or they're making books, or whatever it is that they're creating, just take the time to actually go and buy what they're creating. And that actually like places monetary value on it, and it makes that creative feel so much more validated as a creative, that like, wow, this person actually thought that my art was worth paying for, and it's super helpful. And so the second way you can support creatives is by showing up. This one is actually really huge. If you don't have the money per se to go buy a handmade wallet or a book that someone just put out or whatever it is, there's ways to show up for creatives in person to actually show support that don't cost you anything. So, come to their live show. If they're playing at a coffee shop, just show up, just be there. If they're doing an open mic night or, whatever it is, be there for them. And this one might cost money, but buy a ticket to their production. If they're like in a play or a musical, be there, And we recently had a book release party, and we had a lot of people show up for that. And that was really encouraging to us, especially after putting so much hard work into writing and creating and editing and just all the process of, we don't need another marketing book, which I didn't even write. So for me to, say all these things, it's funny because I had my hand in it in a lot of other ways other than just writing it, because it took so much of a team effort to create. And so seeing people show up for us when we had our book release party and buy copies of the book was really encouraging. It made me feel like, wow, people are actually, they care what we're doing and they can be impacted by it. And that just encouraged us to keep going with our products. And so the third way that you can really support a creative is to give them encouragement. A simple word of praise can mean more than you know. You don't know how discouraged a creative can be or close to burnout they can be when you just tell them like, hey, I really like what you're doing. I'm really inspired, or I really enjoy your videos. I really enjoy, your creations, whatever it is. And so just saying that, can really pull someone out of a place of the, burnout, a place of feeling alone in what they do, isolation, all of that. And saying that can be just the thing that drives them to keep creating. So now I want to get into, those are more ways that you can show up and support creatives in person, or, actually doing things for them that will cost you something. But I'm going to give you a list now of things that you can do that are completely free that can be done online. So the first thing is pretty obvious, but if you don't already, follow them on social media. if the creative has a social account, which I hope they do because that's a great way to reach people right now, the more followers that they have, the more credible they look. So if you follow them and you encourage your friends to follow them and your family and everybody to follow them, the more followers they get, the more traction they get online, and the more they can put their art out there and get the attention of the internet. And also, liking and commenting is still extremely helpful, and it still helps their posts get seen more. But there's actually something that has changed with the algorithms, especially with Instagram, where it's not just about likes and comments anymore, but it's also about how many times people have saved the post. So I think it's at the right corner of like the Instagram post next to like and comment, there's a little button that you can click to save the post so that it goes to a place where you can access it later. And actually doing that on their posts will help their posts get more traction just because of the way the algorithms are right now. Maybe in the next few years it'll be different again, but that's just the way it is right now. So that's extremely helpful, and it helps you to find their art later if you're looking, like if you decide you want to buy it later or you just want to find it later because you were thinking about it, like it's there for you in one place where you can find it easily. And the biggest one right now for getting people more traction online or to help them grow online is to share their posts. And so I'll talk more specifically about Instagram right now, although sharing goes across all platforms. If you're sharing their posts on Facebook, if you're sharing their video from YouTube, like whatever it is you're doing, it's going to help them grow online because it's not only allowing their audience to see their content, but also your audience to see their content. So whoever follows you can find them and enjoy their art also. And so right now, sharing on your Instagram story, so it's pretty simple. You click the share button and you click add to story, is one of the best ways to help other creatives grow online and small businesses. And it greatly widens their reach and it brings more people to their page so that more people can see what they're doing. And another way you can help is if you do buy their art, share it on your social media. So, just take a picture of you in the sweatshirt that they designed and share it to your story and tag them, or, make a post about, how much you love the pottery you bought from this one artist, or share with them the album that you just recently bought and downloaded. Because people want to buy something that was bought by someone that they know and trust. So your friends, your followers, everyone who's on your social media will see, oh, someone I actually know bought this and liked it. So that means it's credible. That means it could be good. It could be something that would be, good for me too. And it also, in addition to giving your audience a feel for how quality the stuff is that they're creating, it also gives the artist more opportunities to show happy customers. So if you post the picture of you in the sweatshirt that the artist designed, then they're able to share it to their social media and see and show like real life people and not just models enjoying their products. And also, if you are a happy customer, be sure and leave a review. So obviously if they're selling on Etsy, that's easy to do. If they're selling their art anywhere else online, on Amazon, whatever it is, it's easy to leave a review. But if there's no place to leave a review, like if you're purchasing something, I don't know, through Instagram shops or whatever it is, and you can't leave a review, then you can always let them know directly. Let the artist know, that you really enjoyed the product. This again goes with encouragement, but also give some details as to why. And they can actually use that as a testimonial on either their social media or on their website that, a real person who bought their art really enjoyed it, really found it useful, really found it to be good. And, it gives them, again, more credibility, and it makes them just have a more, like it makes people see that someone else enjoyed it, and so therefore it's got to be good. And so that's probably one of the most helpful things you can do, is to let them know why you enjoyed their products so that they can continue creating stuff like that and show other people why it's good. And then the last thing that I have for how you can help an artist and encourage them online is by watching their full videos. And so a lot of times creatives put teasers to videos, if they're video creators, musicians, whatever it is that they're doing, hosting a podcast, they put teasers on their social media. So it's only 1 minute, 2 minutes, little 10-second clips. And so you only get a tiny bit, and then they link the full video, which is usually hosted on YouTube. That's what we do at Helps To, on our Instagram, on our Facebook. It's always 1 minute clips. But then if you click through to our, in our bio to our YouTube channel, you can watch the full video. And so what happens when you actually watch the full video is they start to get, depending on if they have enough subscribers, but once they get to that point where they have enough subscribers, they start to get paid for getting views on YouTube. And the more the more people who watch the full video and not just like halfway through and then turn it off or whatever, but the more people who watch the full video on YouTube, the more they get paid. So just by simply watching a video for a creative that you enjoy, you can help them get a bigger paycheck from YouTube. And that's like super easy. Like you can even, if it's a long video like our podcasts, you can throw it on in the background while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, whatever. And just having it going and listening to it and picking up what you hear here and there. Not only will you, gain something from the video, but you'll also help the people that you're watching the videos for get some revenue. So that's probably the easiest and the best one you can do. And so basically, if you're a creative and you need encouragement, I would suggest starting with encouraging other creatives. It's an easy thing to do. If you want something, the best way to get it is to start by giving it. It costs you nothing. You can go out there, you can support other creatives, start networking, and then you'll be surprised by how many people start encouraging you back and start giving back to you that same encouragement that you're giving to them. And if you want to know how you can support a creative more specifically, because everyone has specific needs, not everyone needs you to go watch a video, but maybe they need you to come help set up for a video shoot, don't be afraid to ask the creative what they need specifically, especially if it's a friend or a family member or someone in your life. Ask them what you can do to help. If it's a specific post they need you to share, because they're trying to get traction on this one thing that they're doing, whatever it is. And just the fact that you want to support means a lot to creatives. I know, especially for me, I have friends who have really gassed me up and encouraged me this whole journey that I've been painting, and they can't paint at all. And they look at me like, like what you do is great and keep going, and they keep purchasing my art and they keep asking me to make more, and they aren't creatives themselves, but just having their support, even though they're not necessarily part of my creative community, but just as people who love me and want to see me succeed, like it means the most to me, and it actually keeps me going. And so that's all I've got for you guys today. But be sure and subscribe to our channel, or if you're listening on one of our podcast platforms, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, that's really it. I'll see you next time. Bye.